So if you remember my sandworm, what I decided to do was make a base on it. So I made this shape first of all out of foil and hot glued it to the worm. Then I covered it with a layer of tissue paper and PVA glue, so it's like a paper mache type job. So you can see underneath it's all foil and paper mache. I'm just going to take that off there now. Then what I did was I then coated the whole thing in a couple of layers of PVA glue and some sand that I got. And I also put a bit of PVA glue and sand here and there on the body to make it look like he's just come out the sand. And I've made quite a good mess of my desk doing this. What I'm gonna do next is paint it. I would have used like some sand with bigger grains if I had it, but this is all I got lying around the house. So this is what I used. So first of all, clean off your desk from all the sand. This is just some fine sand that's normally used in like pet enclosures. I'm going to be finding sand for weeks. And then you're going to need some yellow ochre and some raw sienna and some cadmium yellow. Yellow ochre and cadmium yellow will work as well, or just any yellow and any ochre type colour will work. So first I'm going to put a blob of that on my little palette and some of the yellow. So what I want is like a dull mustardy sandy colour, which is the colour that it is in the sand is in the films. So I've got my two colours. What I'm doing is just mixing them together. It's just to dull down the yellow a bit. So as you can see, I'm using way more yellow than I am the burnt sienna. So you see it's like mustardy yellow colour. I need more light on. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do now is cover all of this base in this colour. And if it dries a bit too dark, which it may well do, I'll just add another layer of a bit more yellow in a bit. And just make sure to get in all the nooks and crannies. And this will just give a base to the sandworm so it'll stand up. I'm going to add some colour to the sand that's on his body as well. So he's got that yellow sand all over him because he's just come up out of the sand. And all I'm doing is just dry brushing the yellow on the sand that's on the head so as not to knock too much of the sand off. And put a bit of water in with this because it's a bit hard to spread around. And I'm using more of a scrubbing motion because I want to get into all that texture, but I'm not pressing too hard because obviously I don't want to rub all the sand off. I'm getting right into where I created the hole for the sandworm to come out of. Make sure I cover any gaps, like so. And also with the eyes, I went over them with some gloss to make them nice and shiny. And see, by dry brushing the sand that's on the body, it makes it look like it's got yellow sand on him, without actually painting the whole model yellow in big chunks. Get right in there. And then to add a bit of depth, I'm going to use the darker colour. And I'm going to add a bit of brown to it. And I'm going to use that in where the worm's coming out of to make that look deep, like a deeper hole. I'll go over anywhere where I've spilt it or anything later. And then use the paint that I've already mixed to go over the edges where I've accidentally gone over with the darker colour. I have to clean off my brush. Blend that in. And what I'm doing now is just go over him with a little bit more yellow. And then I'm going to leave that to dry and I'll show you the next bit. Okay, so what I did was I put the darker ochre yellow on first, let that dry, and then I dry brushed the brighter yellow on top, mixed with a little bit of white here and there. And then made sure that was all dry, and yeah, there we go. So he's got his yellow sand on him because he's just come out the ground and he now stands up on his own. All I've got to do is get rid of a paint smudge I didn't see before. Let's get rid of that and touch that up. But other than that, he's sorted. Where is my white? For some reason I've managed to get a little spot of white on his tongue. There we go. Give him a touch up. I also added the stripes to the teeth of the outer worm, which I'd forgot before, and I also added the red spots on the nose of the inner worm's head. And it's finally finished, so that now will stand up all by itself wherever I want. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.